Legionnaires of the Lariat, welcome back. I am your host, Mr. Showtime, Michael Wright. Happy to be hosting another one of our prediction showcases for the Money in the Bank 2024. With me, as always, is stevezapf. Steven, how are we doing tonight?
Excited to have a PLE that does not happen in the middle of the day. I'm kind of excited about this. Let's go Toronto.
Let's it's still not in this country, but we have one that we can watch potentially in real time, pretty close to real time at least, and on a service that won't cut me off in the middle of it and where I can't watch it. So that'll be nice. So we don't know what the order of this prediction showcase is. So we just kind of put these together, not in any particular order. We'll fix it when we review this, obviously. But Steven, as of right now, I have a 7-match lead on you. It's like I can see it wearing on you. Like you're not looking so right. Are you all right? You need to take a break? You need to powder your nose or something?
Hold on, I need a sip of water. All right.
I was half expecting a spit take or something. So
I would, but I can't afford to spit on my screen, so
fair enough. Let's just get to it. Men's ladder match, Money in the Bank, #1 contender. In all honesty, for me, I think this comes down to two people: the one that should win it, and the one that's so over that he might just win it. But Steven, who are you thinking?
So in this match, we have LA Knight, main event Jey Uso, Carmelo Hayes, Andrade, Chad Gable, and Drew McIntyre. I want to choose somebody different than you. I'm going to go Jey Uso on this one.
Yeet. Now you're just getting a little reckless because of the gap. You know that if you get these wrong, the gap gets bigger, right?
I understand that. So here's where I'm at. I think Drew McIntyre is most likely going to win this match. I also think that there's no way that CM Punk doesn't come in and try to ruin this for him. I'm not sure if it means he's going to ruin him cashing it in on the same night. There's a real good possibility of that. I will say this, that the rest of the field, unfortunately, is not going to win this match. Carmelo Hayes is going to have a good showing. Andrade is going to have a good showing. I wouldn't be surprised that Chad Gable always has a good showing. And LA Knight is in too deep with Logan Paul to win this match. Otherwise, I would have picked LA Knight as my dark horse winner of this one. If he was not in so deep with Logan Paul right now, I would have said that CM Punk would be screwing over Drew McIntyre and LA Knight or Jay would be grabbing the briefcase. And I actually probably would have leaned into LA Knight a little bit more.
I am going to go with Drew McIntyre here. I've been saying it for what feels like months now. I want the hypocrisy circle to come full. The hypocrisy to come full circle, something along those lines. So I have Drew winning this. I think nothing better than him winning the title by cashing it in, because it's been cashed in on him numerous times. He absolutely hates it, and here we are. He deserves it. I think it'll be fantastic. I don't think he's going to cash it in on this night. He could, but I don't think he will. So in my opinion, I think he just kind of pumps and brakes. He holds on to it a little bit. Probably doesn't carry it around with him like a prop that Jey Uso would. So I'm with you. Jey Uso is my #2 in this because I think he's just so over. They would sell a ton of merchandise with him, and I understand that draw. Case. Yeah, right in that Yeet case. So I get it. He could win. I actually think he might end up. He might actually be a better candidate to win. I think that the Money in the Bank will do more for him than Drew, except for this fantastic hypocrisy storyline that's going on right now with him. So I feel like he's been planning to win this the whole time.
So I'm going to go with a far-fetched storyline real quick just on this one. There's like one person in this whole thing that could probably get injured and not go into this match, and it wouldn't decimate him too much, and that's Chad Gable. What if what happens is Chad Gable's going to be my go-to on this one for him getting hurt or him not being able to be in the match, and they have to on the fly put somebody in there, and you hear like Mussolini, and that's how CM Punk stops him.
The hypocrisy.
Which it would just leads more into Drew McIntyre being so mad.
I said it on the main show.
Especially if CM Punk not only comes in there, stops Drew from winning Money in the Bank, but wins it himself for the third time, I think this would be.
Without earning, yeah, he won it back to back, didn't he?
I think so, yeah.
The hypocrisy behind that, for him to enter this match without earning his spot when Drew had the world title ripped from him multiple times and having to fight Sheamus and Dragunov would be like, it would be just too much for me. I'd break. It's too much. You can't make these rules and then break them for CM Punk, but not for Drew. I hate every second of that. But
except for, isn't that his whole thing? Is that they're letting him not follow these rules?
Yeah, it just drives me crazy. Where I feel like this one, I'm more in the background. I actually think they're going to do a very similar Rollins thing with Drew, where he might even lose to CM Punk at SummerSlam, and then cash it in with the title at SummerSlam. But we'll see. Who knows?
We will see.
Going into the women, so you have Jey Uso. Yeet.
I do have Jey Uso.
I'm gonna take the Highland Warrior of Drew McIntyre to win this one. I've been saying it for too long not to stick with that. Moving on to the women's Money in the Bank match with Io Sky, Chelsea Green, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, and Zoe Starks. And for me, Steven, I think this one comes down. It could be a few people in this one. I really could see Naomi coming out on top. I can see Io coming back as the former women's champion. But for me, it comes down to two people. It comes down to Tiffany Stratton and Chelsea Green. And I really want to see Chelsea Green win this Money in the Bank.
I want Chelsea Green to win this. I think the briefcase and Chelsea having the briefcase would be so interesting for months. There'd be such good content on this. I will say this one. Naomi winning it is a interesting dark horse in this one.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm not picking her, but I also heard this one today, and this does make it interesting, is what if Naomi winning this either starts sending Bayley back down that heel road, because her having the briefcase and having it hang over Bayley's head a little bit kind of puts cracks in their friendship.
But why would it? Bayley's already gifted her a title shot.
But there's a huge difference between gifting you a title shot and being able to cash in whenever you want.
I guess so. I don't buy that one, and I don't want to see Bayley go heel already. So
my thing with Bayley is everything that's happening with Bayley right now is it's just not good.
I agree. But I really want Chelsea Green to win this one. I think it would be fantastic for her to win. She would do more with it. But I'm going to pick Tiffy time.
I think it's Tiffy time as well. I would only say the reason why I would almost lean even more towards Chelsea, even though I am picking Tiffany, is Chelsea gets more out of the briefcase than Tiffany does. And don't get me wrong,
so much more.
I'm really excited to watch Tiffany fucking bedazzle this briefcase and make it her own and stuff like that. And it's going to be amazing.
She cuts it in half and turns it into like a clutch of some sort. Oh, yeah, man. She can do so much with it. And
Now,
let's just say, I want to take a second to just acknowledge how awesome Chelsea's been. Like, I know that she hasn't been winning a ton of matches, but the the way she has taken advantage of her time on screen is the reason why I think both of us are kind of gushing over here when we're picking somebody else. Where I feel like Tiffany's been kind of a little bit absent from
I feel
TV.
like they haven't been using her as much in the last couple weeks. Since even before this, like I feel like the last couple, even like pay-per-views and stuff, we haven't seen her.
Mhm.
I don't get me wrong, I feel like they're doing stuff with her, but that like kind of dominant string of wins that she had, it almost seemed to come to like an abrupt end. And I
Yeah,
also think some of
it
it
started
is
with the Naomi loss.
yeah, it almost seems like ever since that and her friendship with Naya and everything, it just seems like a lot of that is playing into this. I would like to see if I am actually doing this the way I'd like to do it. I'd like to see Chelsea win this, and I'd like to see Tiffany win the Royal Rumble.
Hmm.
I think that works a
I
little
know
bit
that too.
better. I'd
So I
rather that.
hope I'm wrong here, because Chelsea Green with this briefcase would be fair.
It'd be so interesting. It'd be so good. All
Uh,
right.
Moving on to the next match, we got the world title, the WWE world title. The name's always
World
mixing up.
Heavyweight Championship.
The World Heavyweight Championship.
The ship, if you will.
Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins. And if you thought that the world title wasn't enough, well, you got a little bit more here, because if Seth Rollins wins, Damian Priest has to quit Judgment Day. And if Damian Priest wins, Rollins can't challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship until Priest loses the belt. Steven, what you thinking, bud?
I think it's El Campeon.
I think it's El Campeon too.
I think Priest is winning this, and he's at least holding on to the title. Does that count as it? Like, Priest isn't losing the title in this match.
It doesn't count as a win, but you don't have to worry about it since I'm not picking Rollins. I don't think it's a DQ. I actually think that Priest goes over on Rollins cleanly in this match.
I think he needs it. I think he needs that.
I think so too.
That clean win over a former world champion, and also, hate to say it, but if he's not allowed to challenge for the world title, this once again leads into the return of the Shield. I know I keep saying it, and it's never going to happen because
it's not going to happen.
Because Moxley has 40,000 years left on his contract, but be awesome.
It would be. I'm sure it would be. But the what I think though is he can't challenge, which isn't a big deal because I think Priest is losing this at SummerSlam to Gunther anyway. So
there's that too.
So it's not all that long that he has to wait in order to get his title shot here, if he wants it for his belt. But I think once Gunther gets his hands on this belt, he's not going.
I also think that Rollins coming out of this can go into another feud that doesn't necessarily need the world title for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's I feel like it'd be real easy once Drew and Punk are done with their business that they can pick up Rollins and Punk and just add gasoline back to that fire.
100%. So moving on to the next match, we have Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker for the Intercontinental title. Steven, who do you have here? I'm real curious on which way you're going here.
I'm torn on this one. This is the one that I'm a little. So I think Sami has been doing awesome work as the Intercontinental Champion.
Agreed.
I think he's been doing great stuff, and I love Braun Breaker.
Agreed.
I think the X factor in this is actually the fact that this show is in Canada.
So blame Canada?
Kinda. So here's the thing. And this is not me making a choice one way or another. It's me trying to figure it out in my own head who I want or who I think should go. Sammy winning in Canada obviously makes sense. Basically hometown crowd, even though he's from Montreal, it's not the same, but
It's all
might as well.
It's all one place up there, right?
They're right next to each other, right? Like they're like across the street. The other thing that I'm looking at is how much heat would Braun Breaker get if he beats Sami Zayn in Canada?
I don't think it'll be that bad. I think he's over enough. Like he'll get booed a bit because he's a heel, but I don't think it's that bad. So you're going with Sammy? Is that what he said?
I think I'm going with Sammy. I think there's outside interference. I think this comes back to Braun saying I can't get this match by myself. Like everyone keeps going into this. I think this match openly leads into SummerSlam.
I'm with you on that front. I think I'm gonna put Sammy down as well. It could be Breaker via DQ instead of this, similar to what we said a second ago. I think that Dragunov, not Dragunov, I think that Sheamus isn't done with them. I still think they want to do some stuff with Kaiser. I think that there's more that could be done here to kind of build this up because we never got their real number one contender match. They just kind of jumped Braun being it. That's why I'm pulling it back for Sammy. And then you're going to have Kaiser and or Sheamus come down and ruin everything. And he's going to be like, Sam's going to be like, you guys figure this out. I'll fight whoever you guys want me to fight. But you guys have to figure it out first.
I actually, I said this not that long ago, and I wouldn't be surprised if Sheamus wins the IC title and just hangs up the boots.
I could see that. I hate when that happens, though.
I hate when it happens. It's for him. I wouldn't hate it so much just because it's Sheamus, and I think he would. He's been with the WWE for 15 years, just 15 years in the WWE. Yeah. He literally just had his 15-year anniversary, a couple weeks ago. I wouldn't mind seeing it. He's done a lot. He's had a lot of injuries. He's not as he kind of got signed a little later too. He was, I think, already in his 30s at this point. So it'd be interesting to see where they go with this. I think the IC title is interesting again, though. There's a lot of stuff going on around it.
I mean, it's been interested ever since Gunther
made me interested, and Sammy has kept me interested. So good on you.
I have our last match because this is not a marathon of a PLE. We have Cody, Randy, and Kevin Owens versus some iteration of the Bloodline. 3 of the 4 members will be in this match. Steven, where are you going here?
I think Bloodline wins this.
I think Bloodline wins this as well.
And I think this is the start of the cracks in the foundation for Cody and Randy.
They have set Randy up for this heel turn at every single corner. I think it's only a matter of time. I don't know if it happens here because I have a sneaking suspicion that this Bloodline thing may be the return of somebody or the addition of somebody new. I think the way that they've worded this, that it's going to be 3 members of the Bloodline, leaves it open to who those 3 members is and allows it for The Rock to show up.
I'm not going to lie. I was going to ask you who do you think the 3 members of the Bloodline are? Like almost like a bonus question on this one, because as of right now, we only have one that we're different on.
And you forced it.
And I forced it. Yeah. Like I had to I had to somehow convince myself, even though I still don't even believe that. So,
The
bonus question: which 3 members of the Bloodline do you think take on Cody, Randy, and KO?
I feel like you have to have.
And if I'll you know what, I'll pose the question to you this way: we will use the members that are in there right now. We won't take into account if there's a return or anything. The 4 members that they have as of this recording. So Solo, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu.
I think it might. It's going to be lame, but I think it may be Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa, and not have Solo in here. But Solo
Like, not get his hand.
Yeah, but he should be in this match. Like, I want to see more out of him, and I want him to be more of a threat towards Cody. And in order to be that, you have to fight people. like Jacob Fatu overshadowing Solo is very easy when Solo doesn't actually wrestle.
Hasn't wrestled in like weeks, realistically.
Yeah. So,
and when he was wrestling, he was losing all the time.
But I think there's a chance that someone like The Rock shows up for this match. Anyone you want to be. I don't think he'll wrestle in this match, but I wouldn't be surprised if Roman, Jimmy, The Rock, someone like that shows up in this. Rikishi comes in to be the new wise man.
So I agree with you that it's probably going to be Jacob Fatu and the Tongans. I also kind of agree that it might be the debut.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's all 3 Tongans, and this is where you get Hikuleo in. Or I forget what they said they trademarked his name as. It's like Caesar Sokoa or something like that, like something weird like that.
So I also thought that Caesar Sokoa might be Solo, where
that
like
might be like King, like him being King Sokoa.
Yeah, like the head of the table, he's Caesar. I could see that, but I don't know. We'll see what kind of happens now. But I mean, all in all, that is Money in the Bank. Those are the things I'm expecting, things I want to see. I would love to see Liv. I wish Liv was on this pay-per-view or Bailey. Like no women's matches, because what I would really, except for the Money in the Bank one, because what I would really like to see if Chelsea doesn't win it would be for an immediate cash in from the women's side of things, to fight either Bailey or Liv right after their matches.
So
and that's just no possibility here.
I've also heard I've heard a rumor, heard a theory that kind of the reason why Priest holds on to the title is Liv gets involved, and that's the reason why he holds on to the title, and all the shit he's been giving her. Now he has to like almost begrudgingly keep this title, but like, I didn't need you, and maybe he doesn't need her. Now, what if she comes out, helps him, he keeps his title, whoever wins Money in the Bank knocks out Liv real quick with the briefcase. So now it's not even just, well, I helped you keep your title, and I lost my title because of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's
that.
I don't think they're doing it, but like there's a lot of cool little moving parts that they could be doing. I also think that this is there's one more pay-per-view after this between this and it's this and then just SummerSlam.
I'm not sure.
Because this is going to be this Saturday, which will be July 6th. Mm-hmm. Yes, July 6th. Then immediately, and then SummerSlam is August 3rd. So I don't think there's anything in between. I think that's the turnaround. And for a show that's supposed to be one of your big 4, I think they have to they have to take the full month turnaround at that point.
I'm with you. I mean, Money in the Bank feels like one of the big 4 now, doesn't it?
It feels important. You know what though? Every pay-per-view feels important now. Every pay-per-view. They've done a really good job of making sure every single one of the shows feels pretty important. Because like Backlash is kind of a crap pay-per-view normally. And the last 2 years they put it in Puerto Rico and they put it in France, and we are terrible fans compared to those people.
Agreed, but that match, Backlash, was still a little meh. But that's our predictions. That's what we think. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Leave in your picks in the description area below, the comment section below. Tell us why we're right, particularly me. Tell us why we're wrong, particularly Steven. And let us know what you guys think. We appreciate you guys so much for all the support. Like and subscribe. Share it if you can. If there's anything you need from us, reach out. We have all of our social media handles at Michael Wright, at stevezapf. You can find us at info at Lariat, and all that stuff will be below. Steven, you got anything else for
all of
our
our
adoring
emails,
fans?
all of our social media. And again, we'll also probably have links for the Cocoa Mana interview that's still up. That was such a cool episode. I'm so happy with that stuff. I know we keep talking about it and gushing over that, but it was really, really good, guys. So you should. We think it's great, but you should listen to it because you'll think it's great too.
Definitely. And with that, we appreciate you guys more than we can say. Have a great night and enjoy Money in the Bank.
We'll see you afterwards, folks.
And hopefully there's no yeet case.
Yeet case. All right, have a good night.